Thanks for hearing from my channel. Please like, subscribe and support us if you feel interested. Empowerment Arc Chapter 26 New Abilities. Well then, now that I acquired a human body, I can't be walking around in fur forever. So I requested a set of clothing to be made. While the slime body is certainly convenient, it has fatal flaws to it. And that flaw is the lack of equipment. That is, other than some special magic items, I could not equip anything. It's not like I feel cold or anything, but I want some extra defense. Equipment that could protect me from at least one hit. Besides, the dwarfs have made many articles with the materials the goblins have hunted. First and foremost, I'll have a set of kids' clothing prepared. Thus, I went to the dwarfs. Or more precisely, to the tailoring log cabin which was recently finished, apparently. The eldest dwarf Garm was busy ordering the girls, goblinas, and overseeing production. Yo, Garm-kun. There's some clothing I want you to make me. Donna. What are you saying? How are you planning on wearing it? You can't use equipment, can't you? Foo-foo-foo. Foo-ha-ha. Ha-ha-ha-ha-ha. Don't look down on me. You thought it was the can't wear anything, me, huh? Well, not anymore. Ha. What? Donna's body is growing, not a kid, huh? TCH. Not surprised. Oh well. I can become an adult, but I want you to first make some clothing for this form. Oh. Okay. Then, we'll start by measuring your size. Oi, Haruna. I leave Donna's measurements to you. I was measured by one of the tailors, Haruna. Of course, although I was naked, I was not embarrassed. Since there's nothing there. My. How cute you've become, Rimuru-sama. Haruna said while recording my size. Cute? I mean, I know I think I'm cute, but for the goblins to agree. Must say, I'm surprised that monsters even have an aesthetic sense. I decided to spend the following day by trying out my new skills. I head off. If I want to peacefully try out new skills, it's best for no one to be around. Having notified Rigurdo of my absence, I ordered everyone to steer clear. And, through the center of the city, I head into the cave. The place where I met Veldora. That underground cavern is wide, unnaturally dense, and, most of all, uninhabited. The cave's monsters stay away out of fear. Now then, let's start testing these out. I've got unique skill, Shapeshifter, extra skill, fire manipulation. From the Flame Giant, Clone, Fire State, and Area Boundary. So what should I start with? Since cloning seems promising, let's start with the Flame Giant. Fire State, wouldn't activate as a slime. Chances are, this skill activates only under certain conditions. I wonder what they are. As for Area Boundary, that I could use. But, I don't get it. So the point of the skill is to seal thermal energy within a barrier and prevent any from leaking, huh? But if I can activate this skill, why can't I use Fire State? Wait a second. Didn't I just get my hands on a barrier? Okay. In the first place, this skill's main strength seems to be in trapping opponents. Quite a versatile skill, isn't it? The boundary's maximum range is 100 meters, shaped into half a sphere. Does not expand underground. The smallest I could get it was just enough to cover my body. Its effect did not change. Only the size did. Its strength? I create a clone on top of which I affixed the boundary. Then, I shot out a water blade at the barrier. Bashi. It was repelled. Ho ho. It's that strong? In that case, let's try out the paralysis breath and noxious breath. That experiment showed that the skill uses up a lot of magical energy. With the energy I left with the clone, the barrier withstood paralysis breath without taking any damage, but collapsed under noxious breath. In other words, as long as I supply magical energy, the barrier will hold. Then, I created a clone with considerable amount of magical energy, and set up a barrier. I am planning on trying out the Black Wolf's Black Lightning skill. As a Black Wolf, it is possible to modify the range and strength of the skill. Its two long horns are used to alter just that. Since a slime has no horns, use it all, is how the skill works. Thus, I set the power to max and the range to a single target, fire. As for the barrier, I set it to its lowest setting. If the size is small, the consumption should also decrease. The result, Pika. Chudun. Not even the dust was left. It's too dangerous. So, I guess I can't trust in the barrier all that much. In the first place, why did he disappear if I have electric current resistance and thermal fluctuation resistance? Somehow this makes no sense. Maybe this Black Lightning skill is actually a special skill ranked about extra skills. But man, this sent a chill down my back. Good thing I didn't carelessly try it on myself. Such were my honest thoughts. However, the fact that I need to mimic a black wolf to use this skill greatly limits its applicability. Then, I mimicked the flame giant, and tried to use fire state again. The result was that I changed into a 2000-degree cloud. But, as expected, the heat dissipates too quickly if I don't maintain the barrier. This skill, too, highly depends on the situation. By the way, when I use it with the barrier, fire state is an amazing skill. As expected of an A rank, plus? That is, Freya's sphere is a combination of the barrier and fire state that burns the opponent from the inside. In other words, any living thing that breathes air will surely perish. My affinity against the opponent was really good. As for how to use the skill, I'll consider that later. Now with respect to extra skill, fire manipulation. I can't seem to explode things like Shizue-san did. What the trick could be, I don't know. Light a fire at my fingertip. Throw fire from the palm of my hand. Such party tricks are easy. Also, I managed to gather heat in my hand and radiate it, thus creating a fire blaster. And wait, if I gather the heat, the power increases. I mean, normally, fire is at about 200 degrees Celsius. If I gather it, it rises to 1600 degrees. Now, just like with Waterblade, I just need to shoot out this magical energy. It struck my target at 10 meters away with a temperature surpassing 1400 degrees. This splendid skill I decided to call Flame Bullet. Looks just like a certain alien's finisher, Fingerbeam. Also, I can probably just create a fireball in my hand and burn my opponents. Would I do something as dangerous as grabbing someone's head and threatening to burn them? Yeah, I probably would. Additionally, since it seems I can further raise the temperature with practice, I should continue doing so until I can manage an explosion. After all, unlike monster skills, its practice makes perfect here. Now then, regarding the last new skill. That is, Shapeshifter. That name sounds too much like shoplifter, how unpleasant. I won't be awakening to any criminal tendencies, will I? Not that I even fall asleep. Anyways, let's try out the skill. But, I have absolutely no idea how to do that. At a time like this, great sage, saves the day. Sensei. Please. Less than solution. The effects of unique skill, Shapeshifter Fusion. The ability to merge into a single being with the targeted fellow. Division. The ability to separate oneself and the being possessing you. If the target who is being separated lacks a physical form, they could disappear. These two abilities are yours to wield. Greater than I see. So Shizue-san's devil appearance was the result of this unique skill, huh? Just my first impressions, but wouldn't this skill mix well with mine? Although this slime body doesn't sweat, I certainly felt cold sweat at that thought. This is essentially the first step in understanding an opponent's abilities. But, more importantly, can't I use this to erase their skills? Less than solution. Skills engraved upon the soul can neither be separated nor destroyed. Greater than sadly, it wasn't that omnipotent. But, I am certain that it will mix well with my skills. For example, could I combine with the monsters I mimic? Shizue-san had combined with the Ifrit who resided in her consciousness. Could I also become a devil this way? Devil transformation should be something like overriding original body's abilities with the desired one. Perhaps as an option, I can also change my physical appearance. Thus, I try to imagine it. To overlay the flame giant's abilities on top of the slime. I wasn't planning on anything gaudy, but had my face raise its temperature to 200 degrees. Seems like I can now use fire state, even in this form. Upon activating that skill, my aura had become that of a flame. My facial temperature also rose over 1400 degrees. Seems like this could be used as a weapon now. If I am ever captured, I could probably use this to escape. Thus, I tried fusing with every monster I had eaten thus far. The spider gave me white spots. As a centipede, I grew fangs. Gross. The lizard had me grow scales. The bat made me sprout demon-like wings. A slime with demon's wings. Looks pretty cool actually. As the black wolf, I turned black and grew 2 horns. Horns like those of a unicorn. But because I can't see, I actually still worry about where exactly the horns are placed. Next, the black snake. My body was covered in a gold pattern. Now, even as a slime, I can fully use every skill. As for the visual, now, could I fuse multiple times? The answer, yes. However, no more than twice. I could not manage a third. However, most of the monster's skills do not require fusion. Even if the potency of the skill decreases, as long as I can actually use it, I don't see much of a problem. The skills I actually need to transform for are fire state and black lighting, just them. Although not a skill, I do need to mimic the bat in order to use its flight abilities. I can grow flightless wings, however. Therefore, Flame Giant, Black Wolf, or Giant Bat, choose two of these according to the situation at hand. That will probably become the basic strategy from now on. Well, as long as their abilities are useful, of course. By the way, if I try to fuse while mimicking, I can mix a total of 3 bodies. Thus, I've become a chimera. Thank you very much. No, actually, the intimidating power of the monsters doesn't change all that much. The Black Wolf and Snake are, after all, the most dangerous of the ones I have. Whichever I use as a base, the power doesn't change much, but the Black Wolf is a far superior base due to an inherently higher speed. So when I'm in a real pinch, I'll be depending on him as usual. How, then, do the abilities change when the base is human? Was my next thought. Humans form primary merit as the ability to equip things. Whereas any monster and magic beast I mimic will inadvertently be lacking equipment. Further, there are certainly powerful skills to be used while in human forms. But for now, let me discuss the visual changes. Flame Giant. My hair and eyes turned crimson. Black Wolf. My hair turned black, with 2 cowlicks sticking out. Where are the ears and tail, damn it? Black Serpent. My eyes turned green and snake-like. Hands and feet became covered in scales and grew claws. Giant Bat. I grew demon wings. The skills I cannot use without mimicking are the same as before. So if I obtain some cursed swords in the future, this appearance may become the norm for combat. Now that I think about it, I should probably try making one of those. If anything, I can fuse with inorganic substances as well. What would that mean? Probably gaining special attributes and abilities inherent to the weapon or something. While this is certainly something I would like to test out, I really don't know anything about this topic. Besides, to defeat the Demon Lord, shouldn't I be searching for some holy sword? Well, when I enter some kingdom, I'll look around. I completely forgot to test out my resistances. First to note, along with extra skill, flame manipulation, I had acquired fire attack resistance. But even so, surely if I were thrown into the sun I'd burn and die. Thus, the question is how much can I resist? This, I just have to test with my own abilities. Up until now, I feared receiving damages, and avoided such practice, but I am a different slime today. Just as I had considered while testing Black Lightning before, it's time to experiment on my own body. I have to find out just how much damage I can endure. Though I worry slightly, this experiment is absolutely crucial. I create a clone and control him. Of course, as a slime. If I did this while looking like a child, what would the readers think? The current clone looks like a child, but I can also make one of a slime. Furthermore, if I get used to this, it seems like I can also replicate the equipment I wore at the time of cloning. The cloning skill is only limited as far as your unique skills allow. First, Great Sage. As long as the user is within a kilometer radius, a clone can be created. Should the user go beyond that limit, the consciousness link is severed, and the clone can only respond to basic commands. Since vision is always shared, and an order can be changed at any time, the clone can be used for long-range reconnaissance missions. Second, Predator. The stomach can only release the true body. A clone can be predated and stored, but cannot be extracted. However, feedback regarding skills, etc. can be acquired. Third, Shapeshifter. Only one fusion is allowed. Division is unchanged. Upon extensive research a few limitations were revealed, but the skill remains pretty powerful. Thus, I sparred a few times with my clone. The result, Waterblade, is very powerful. Black Serpent falls after a single attack. Black Wolf, after 2. The rest you can guess yourself. Flame Bullet is only a beam shot from my fingertips, but terrifyingly powerful. However, as a piercing attack, the enemy's death is not guaranteed. While their head and vitals become their weak points, I have to hit those first. For example, although I had shot through the snake's head, it did not fall. Had I let my guard down, I might have been defeated. Thus, although it's stronger than Waterblade, it's harder to kill with. I had accepted this point too easily. The strongest skill is Black Lightning. The strongest pair is Black Wolf and Flame Giant. The clone didn't immediately die with Barrier and Fire State invoked. Rather, I have to say that I somehow managed to defeat it. Perhaps it's best to think of fire state as a defensive rather offensive skill. Even so, other than the strongest combination, no skills found thus far can defend against it. Furthermore, while mimicking, if enough damage is received, I return back to normal. However, the damage incurred is not transmitted to the true body. Thus, if I die from a single attack, it can properly be called an overkill. And thus, I've obtained various data. The rest can be verified via Great Sage's simulations. Taking on the appearance of a child, I begin to leave. Along the way, I encountered a centipede, who quickly ran away at the sight of me. Fufufu. My presence has finally been recognized. Although to the eyes I look just like a child. Status name: Rimuru Tempest species. Slime, human transformation possible, divine protection. The Storm Crest titles. One who commands monsters magic. None skills. Unique skill, Great Sage. Unique skill, Predator. Slime-specific skills, Dissolve, Absorb, Regenerate. Extra skill, Water manipulation. Extra skill, Magic perception. Acquired skills: Black Serpent, Heat detection, Noxious breath. Centipede, Paralysis breath. Spider, Sticky thread, Steel threat. Bat, Ultrasound waves. Lizard, Body armor. Wolf, Supreme sense of smell, Telepathic communication. Intimidation, Shadow step. Black lightning. Fire giant. Clone, Fire state. Area boundary. Resistances: Thermal fluctuation resistance X. Physical attack resistance. Pain resistance. Fire attack resistance. Electricity resistance. Paralysis resistance. End of the empowerment arc. Some translator notes and trivia: Rimuru's temperature. I know he is hot. How hot? About as a typical red sun. Shoplifter joke. So I did the best I could with Rimuru's joke here. The actual name of the shapeshifter skill is BNGJ, degenerate, pervert, etc., with the intended meaning being changing one. What the author writes is, literally, I may be a changed gentleman, but I am certainly not a pervert. What an insulting name. However, that makes zero sense in English. Annoying enough. The author continues this pun in the next line, here translated as, I hope I won't be awakening to any criminal tendencies, which really should have been, I won't be awakening to any strange interests, right? Here's the original text for all you enthusiasts. Sorha, BNGJ. Dati. Marud. Iya. Disclaimer: under no circumstances would you be allowed to take this work for commercial activities or for personal gain. Credits: author. Fuse illustrator. Mitzvah translator. The Clown, Wuxia, Guro editor. Ancient Kaiser PDF compiled by Kiri. Web novel sources: http://circustranslations.com/chapter-list http://www.wuxiatranslations.com/tensei-shitara-slime-datta-ken http://gurotranslation.blogspot.hr/p/iadduction.html. Thanks for hearing from my channel. Please like, subscribe and support us if you feel interested.